Yes, I know. Axolotls are not fish, they are monsters. Why monsters? Because the name axolotl comes from Nahuatl, the language of the Aztecs in Mexico, which translated means water monster. However, due to their appearance, behavior and highly visible furry gills, they are also often referred to as Mexican walking fish. Axolotls can grow to over 30 centimeters or 12 inches. Although captive axolotls can live as long as 15 years, they can only live about 5 or 6 years in the wild. Axolotls are carnivores, so their main diet is worms, insects, crustaceans, mollusks and small fish. They are actually neotenic salamanders. What is a neotenic salamander? Neotenic salamanders are like salamanders, amphibians that go through several stages of metamorphosis during their lifetime, but unlike most salamanders, axolotls do not complete metamorphosis. They never lose their gills, and never leave the water during their lifetime. Axolotls are aquatic animals that spend their entire lives in water. They can get out of the water because they also have lungs and can breathe air, but axolotls will not survive long without water. Like all salamander species, axolotls start their lives in the water as small transparent eggs, then they hatch and become tadpoles with gills and a flattened, fin-like tail. For salamanders, this is a temporary phase that will disappear once they develop lungs, and eventually crawl onto land. But not for axolotls, they are like fear adults, never growing out of their larval stage. Their adult bodies are salamander larvae. So they look like larvae that never gets old, but are actually adults, baby face. There must be many who are confused and wonder, if axolotls are amphibians, why can't they live on land? The characteristics of axolotl morphology are specialized to live in water. Axolotls have reddish-purple gills due to the presence of blood cells that draw oxygen from the water instantly. When axolotls breathe, they only need to flap their gills. But when the oxygen in the water is very lacking, axolotls have another trick. The axolotl's natural habitat is Lake Xochimilco in the Valley of Mexico, as well as in the canals and waterways of Mexico City. These waters tend to be warm with an average temperature of 20 degrees Celsius, in acidic soil and minimal oxygen. When water conditions become poor and the amount of dissolved oxygen in the water is very low, the axolotl will use its lungs to swallow air from the surface of the water, and this is what makes them special. Their lungs are an ideal example of cryptic metamorphosis, where their body development has matured internally, but not externally. The fact that axolotls have 2 respirators, gills and lungs, leads many people to believe that axolotls can live or breathe on land. However, this is not true. Axolotls can indeed breathe outside of water, but only for very short periods of time. Axolotls cannot breathe or live on land for long periods of time. They will become stressed, and develop breathing problems if they are out of water for too long. Finally, the axolotl remains a fish-like aquatic animal throughout its life. Axolotls, which are solitary creatures, reach sexual maturity at 1 year old. The male will then seek out a female, and perform a little dance by wiggling his tail and lower body. The female then responds by nudging him with her snout. And so it happens. Females can lay up to 1,000 eggs, although the average is around 300, on plant material or rocks, which protects them from predators. After 2 weeks, the eggs hatch, and without parental care, the larvae will emerge and swim out on their own to begin life. Axolotl populations have declined dramatically due to a combination of habitat loss, water pollution, and invasive species, such as carp and tilapia, which compete with axolotls for food and prey on them. Ecologists estimate that fewer than 1,000 axolotls exist in the wild, and the International Union for the Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, IUCN, has classified axolotls as a critically endangered species since 2006. But strangely, they are often found as pets in aquariums. Well, if you have money, what can't you buy? In addition to being pets, axolotls are also the subject of research, because of their regeneration abilities. Most salamanders including axolotls have extraordinary regeneration abilities. If in a condition they lose their legs, they are able to grow the missing legs. This ability is very interesting to humans, and hope that this super ability can also be applied to humans.